Welcome back, everybody, to the final match here at Master Circuit Series, week number 14, hosted by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. My name's Hasher Brown, and I'm absolutely ecstatic to be here, casting this final match with my good friend Nifroth. How you doing?
Hey!
And we've also got...
I'm hyped.
Yeah, I'm super hyped. We've also got last week's runner-up, -1, with us as well for commentary. How are you feeling?
Yeah. Feeling good. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here. Happy to watch more tier mirrors.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
And we have a bit of a story here that we have been following all day. We have alex00000, who was last week's champion, making it all the way to the finals for a second week in a row. Kind of unprecedented.
Well, somebody's got to do it, right? That's the rules.
Like, we've had multiple time finalists before here in the MCS, but I don't know if we've ever had them 2 weeks in a row like this, and especially not in the same format. I could be wrong, but this is a very impressive run for sure. 2 weeks in a row.
I'd say if there's any format to do it, you'd expect it in Ishizu tier format.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, there's not really much else to say about the tier mirror at this point, but do you have any thoughts before we head into this first game here?
I think I'm a little bit conflicted, but I do hope that for the most part, if we see some mills, they aren't one-sided, and we can have like a nice back and forth game.
I just hope the coin flip doesn't decide the whole thing.
That's true, yeah.
I feel like out of all of the matchups that we've seen today, this is probably the one where the coin flip matters the least. I feel like I want to say that. I mean, especially...
Yeah, we have seen a lot of hand trap decided games.
Yeah, and the pendulum... the pendulum games that we've seen are pretty coin flip determinative a lot of the time, especially the match in top 8 with Menethil versus TTK. That was very much a coin flip, it seemed.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't really be... Sometimes there's just how the cookie crumbles, right? You just take what you can get. But hopefully the finals is a little bit more less RNG decided, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, we all like to see games that don't get determined by too much RNG, but obviously it's an innate part of the game that we play.
For sure.
Or if we see it, might as well see just like the craziest, nuttiest hand ever, just blow all over the field. I'm down for that as well.
Yeah. Honestly, if there's not going to be like, a skillful interactive back and forth, then just having the game decided in one turn, I can watch that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we haven't really seen that many, those really, really explosive turn ones too often, because usually there's something to stop it, so I'm down for that as well.
Oh no, okay. So, chat, you might be aware of a certain duel room glitch where you cannot spectate a game in progress, and luck so happens that it is happening to us right now in the final. The one game where we have to watch this one live is the one where we get the spectate glitch. Great game. Awesome game. Thank you, Konami. Very cool.
Thank you, Konami.
Very well put together. Not spaghetti code at all.
This type of issue before, so
notably, in a recent update for Duel Links, there's been this constant issue where duel rooms have like you just can't spectate games. It's become a pretty common. So tournaments are having this issue in Duel Links. So I'm not sure if it's in Duel Links and Master Duel that they're having this problem.
Okay, well, at the very least, things have kind of worked themselves out really quickly because Game 1 has already ended. So I guess we're going to go ahead and watch the replay of that one. Wow, okay. I'm not going to tell you who wins this one, but...
You know, we talked about the sackening, you know. It just manifested itself.
Well, at least we didn't have to sit here stalling for a 40-minute game 1. So we have Alex going first on the bottom.
Okay, looking at this hand, using the information that the game ended fast, -1, what do you see?
I'm seeing a turn 1 dweller. I'm seeing a blowout. Unfortunately, Soliak is a really good card to mill, and if you hit it off of the mill, then you get ahead pretty quickly. But going second with Soliak is kind of bad. As you imagine, trap cards take a turn to become live, so having cards that are, you know, slow to get started is a very big liability, especially when Abyss Dweller can decide games so quickly. And, the deck is capable of outputting so many bodies on the first turn. It's, yeah, I would say this is a wrap.
Yeah. This is
well, actually, we already know the outcome. I'm not sure why I'm talking like.
We might.
Oh man.
We might be able to infer the outcome here.
Maybe they're gonna. You don't know. Maybe there's a time limit loss for Alex here. You don't know.
That is very true.
Yeah, maybe his mom calls him for dinner.
Playing. Yeah.
The
crime. To insulate the dweller. That's a.
Okay, yeah, Treble's just gonna call it there.
Yeah, that checks out.
It's great when the coin flip decides everything. I'll stop.
Okay, well, I guess that means once we are ready. Okay, yeah, we can spectate game 2. Let's go.
Actually, wait till we're spectating.
Okay, true. All right, we're gonna get into game 2. I believe Treble will be choosing to go first here.
Hey, time to celebrate. Yeah.
All right, opening pretty strong 1-0. That's nice. Did talk about milling, specifically that Soliak being able to do just that. Definitely gonna come in handy.
We're gonna see the Imperm come out on the Rhino Heart. Interesting to see that they're electing to try to potentially prevent them from getting 80 name into play, and they do.
Yeah.
Typically that can get punished if the opponent hits something, but...
Anything? Almost. Wow.
What the?
Okay.
Those smells are...
So that is a telegraph, I would say. The reason why they would summon the Hobness is because the expectation that the opponent hits a mill card and that they have a talent. Because if they activate the monster effect, that would like enable them to continue playing the game. So from this spot, I think it's... I don't want to say it's like you have to play around talents, but from this spot, I think you would definitely just... Anytime it's your opponent's main phase, you just don't give them the opportunity. You just keep them in the dark for as long as you can.
That's really good insight, actually.
Yeah, that or they... I mean, the other option is the misclicked, right?
Yeah, I guess.
True.
You know, they have 600 seconds, but yes, that's... They,
like, oh, I meant to set that Havness. Oh.
No. But yeah, I think that's probably a really, really good read. Most likely would expect something similar here. I think it's interesting also seeing that we saw a Veiler milled. I don't think we've seen a singular Veiler used until now, but apparently that's being cited in here in this matchup.
I would wager that it is a part of the side deck. Oh wow, and we got the second Havness in hand. And Treble's got the Maxi.
Yeah, playing into that Maxi while already being somewhat down, definitely not ideal, you know?
Because the Scream activated on the summon of the Stein, they never had an opportunity to really use the Stein to get either Exterio or Rukulos. So this is now the first time where they can activate it, and
all these mills off of the Havness are really terrible. But the thing is that because the Imperm got used on the Kit Colosse, Cyberstein is kind of free to summon whenever now, right?
Yeah,
this might just be it. Honestly, I think also it's fairly telling. So we have the insight that probably 2 Imperms were opened, which would explain the proactive.
No, they milled 2
Imperms.
Wait, did they mill 2 Imperms?
Yeah, they milled 2.
Wait, did they?
Right?
But they used one, and they milled one just now. They activated
they
one
did.
I see.
Turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I assume both were in the starting hand, and that's why they felt so comfortable trying for that high roll, especially if their hand is so lacking in those starters. That would definitely make a lot of sense to me, at least.
We'll be going Kaleido Heart. That he's going to represent game on board. A total of 9,000 damage, I believe.
That's some quick maths.
And it's correct. I used a couple.
Not only quick, but it's also on the money. And yeah, this is looking like the quickest finals ever?
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Well, we don't know how Game 3 is going to go yet.
But yeah, so far, 1 sack apiece. This one was maybe a little bit less overwhelming, but still definitely worked out. Honestly, though, the previous one was straight up just being able to set up a board that was unanswerable. This one was more like
one person
didn't really get to do anything in the first place.
Yeah.
We've really seen. I don't want to say the coin flip decided that, but...
So now we're gonna have a 40-minute Game 3.
True.
40 only.
40.
Yeah. Very bold of you to assume it'll only take 40 minutes.
So yeah, we saw the Effect Veiler coming in from the side deck for Treble. I would assume that the side plan for the Tier Mirror is pretty clear on, like, you know exactly what you're doing when you make your side deck in a format like this, compared to like a non-Tier Mirror matchup, correct?
Yeah. There's typically you don't actually see too much for going first. Generally the main deck is built in such a way that, you know, you're kind of fine with going first. Also, going first, you can summon Dweller, and as long as you get to play, you're kind of happy. It's really when you go second that Tier Elements will, you know, bring in stuff like the cherries or evenly matched, just the high power blowouts that'll, like, can swing the game.
Yeah, I guess the Veiler is more of one of those looking for hand traps that allow you to capitalize on the extra cards gained off of Max C type of reasoning things, right? Beyond the turn 1, and even including the turn 1, if you resolve the Max C, and then there are fusions happening potentially because of Kelbeck or Nagito, you can't really imperm anymore. You miss out on that chance to interact with your opponent's Kit Colosse. So, I mean, I kind of understand it. It is quite interesting, though, that we don't really see it used too often from most of the other players in the top cut here. But now we finally see an effect Veiler. Maybe it's just a chance that it managed to keep itself hidden all this time, but yeah, interesting difference at least.
Veiler is for sure interesting tech choice. Often you'll compare it with Impermanence. However, Imperm has like the slight benefit of, you know, if the opponent goes first, they'll summon Dweller, and then in draw phase, you need some way to respond to the Dweller, and unfortunately, Veiler doesn't do that. However, as you mentioned, when coupled with Maxi, you do want just more like variety in your hand traps to just put a damper on your opponent's plays.
Yeah, there's not really that many hand traps, especially in this format as well, I would say, that really give you that much of a benefit off of those draws on the same turn, right? You get a lot of resources, and it does pose a threat, but assuming that you can set up those Gravekeeper's traps and the crime, and maybe a Dweller, and maybe a couple of names alongside a Soliak, it might not matter as much. I mean, of course, I don't think we've really seen a lot of games where multiple draw maxis didn't really perform well to just potentially deciding the game, but still, I understand the reasoning for sure for going for that Veiler here as well.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analysis there, but I'm gonna have to cut you short because we do have Game 3 currently happening.
How much shorter? I'm gonna be under the desk.
Oh no.
All right, here we go. Game 3. alex00000 versus treble17. The last game of today.
What if it's a draw?
Then we can all go home and no one wins.
But I'm already home.
No, you're here in the commentator's booth. Don't break immersion.
Oh yeah, right. I'm in where did I say? Seattle.
Seattle. Seattle, Diego.
Yeah, Seattle, Diego.
So Alex getting the privilege of going first here in Game 3. And Treble looking to not have opened any interruptions. Alex might just be free to do whatever here.
Yeah, we don't see a hotness come out. We don't see a lot of the a lot of what you would want to see going second. Now.
I guess some solaces, we do see some maxis in the graveyard for Alex, so at least those aren't there anymore, and it's also only Keldos at the moment in the graveyard instead of a Keldo. Yeah. But still, this is definitely looking pretty strong already. Very, very dominant board. Being able to set up those searches as well.
They are going to end on a Dweller and a crime, it seems.
Yeah, this is a pretty good setup here. How do you break a board like this?
You super poly draw phase.
Yeah, I guess
that's it.
I guess Droplet discarding a trap also does it.
Well, I mean, not entirely, but it could sort of work, yeah.
It's something, at least, right?
But I mean, knowing that your opponent has that one Omni Negate, ooh, that's a good way to at least deal with the first threat, sure. Of course, now we have to deal with 3 more, but it's okay.
I mean, using the heartbeat here, does that mean that maybe there's an evenly coming?
Potentially.
I mean, I guess you would have to hope that there's an evenly, right?
Somewhat interesting.
But this is also...
we're opting to use it in the draw phase of our own turn. Kind of, you know, I guess maybe we're giving
Ooh, they
had
had a droplet.
They did have a
That tells
droplet.
us. That tells us a few things about their hand, though. That they don't really have a good trap card to discard. If they did have a trap card, and they do have the evenly matched.
Wow, okay.
Oh my.
Oh my goodness.
What do you give up here if you're Alex? I guess the Dweller and Rulkalos, maybe?
Yes. Maybe the Rulkalos? It just depends on what else you have in your hand and like how confident you think, like, could Rulkalos really solo this game? You might think that like Kate Kalos, as long as Kate Kalos is in circulation, just getting advantage off of that like each turn is pretty good, but the Rulkalos does represent disruption, and they will keep the Kate Kalos.
Yeah, I
think
feel like
that
there's
does make some sense considering that the battle phase has been given up, the graveyard effects are locked out for this
Exactly.
turn, so you have a decent chance of keeping her as well. That would definitely make sense.
I mean, this was a good way for Treble to stabilize here. It just remains to be seen whether they keep themselves in the game. I mean, having to play with no Rulkalos and no Abyss Dweller for the rest of the game is pretty good, but it's not over for sure. Wow, they got nothing else?
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like there are some implications of the fact that they chose not to go for something like bounce the crime, send the evenly, and the heartbeat for the 2 monster negate into trying to set up your board with 2 cards. I think that just means we don't have the ability to even attempt that unless we are trying to play safe here as well. So this is not, I feel like, too surprising. Now the question is, can we withstand the onslaught of 5 cards?
Yeah, we see the Maxi.
Pretty good start.
That must have been the draw for turn for Treble.
It's really, yeah, it's really unfortunate. The Maxi is card 6, but
do we have the ability to potentially set up lethal here after we've lost Rulkalos as well, though? Is something that I'm thinking about. I mean, we probably do. The threat of Havness and I guess Kelbeck and the Guido as blockers to maybe prevent lethal is a thing. I don't know. I guess you don't commit to that in the game 3 of Grand Finals, do you?
I think from this spot, you're kind of, if you can go for lethal, you definitely at least try it, right? There are some lines where they make Kaleido Heart and Draco Stapelia, or they make Kaleido Heart and maybe set up enough bodies to make a rank 4 to at least threaten lethal. And even if they do have, you know, a Kelbeck or a Nagito, some way to like block lethal, then you are able to set up a disruption for the max seed, you know, cards in hand.
Yeah, I think on one hand, of course, it is really risky, and you are arguably in a dominant position, I would say here, with that card lead beforehand. But on the other hand, you know, you gotta think about the hand. We didn't really see any other set that's not really leading to believe that there's going to be a lot of tools to deal with your opponent's cards, unless those are specifically cards like DD Crow or something along those lines. So maybe really committing to that push here for lethal is the call that we're going to see.
Using cards in hand, this might be it. This is if there's something the Kikalos that's just 1,500 off, so almost all of their normal summons do represent game.
There's the 1,500.
That is exact lethal.
And there's no way to stop this.
Battle Fader, let's go.
And I think this is it. I think we have our Week 14 champion 2 times in a row. The repeat Alex00000's taking it. Let's go!
Taking the chance and taking the championship. Absolutely incredible choice here, and it just works out as well. Beautifully played. Also, speedrunning the finals, just saying, I gotta be home by 5. Let's finish this.
I can't believe that. Probably the fastest top cut ever. A second time winner, and in back-to-back weeks too. That is absolutely the most impressive. Holy, so good. Congratulations, Alex. What an impressive play for today. Like, is there anything else left to say?
There are those times where people might be able to claim, oh, you know, you just got lucky that time. I mean, obviously luck is always involved, but if you have the skill to take advantage of that luck and then you do it again, at that point, you know, I don't think people really have the room to make those claims anymore. And from the games that we've seen, Alex definitely, also in some slower games, definitely played really, really impressively. No doubts about the deservedness here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can all 100% agree that Alex played out of his mind 2 weeks in a row to take it down. And man, I mean, as far as finals go, I think if you're Alex, you're probably you can't believe your luck because those 2 games that he won, there wasn't too much of an opposition, unfortunately.
Well, the same could be said about the game that they lost, right?
Very true, very true. But man,
yeah, it was only 9 hours.
Yeah, like I said, fastest top cut ever. Man. Yeah, well, I believe this was the second double winner. Yeah, we had Atoning win.
Yep.
I can't remember which weeks, but Atoning has won twice, but we've never had a repeat winner 2 weeks in a row. And yeah, like you said,
well,
Meg,
now we need
this is the format to do it,
winner.
right? We need a 3-time winner now. I mean, we are still in this format probably for the foreseeable future. So, Alex, if you're gonna do it, we gotta see it next week.